Oliver banked hard against the wind, his talons locking onto the jagged edge of the riverbank. Behind him, the heavy thud of paws signaled the arrival of Benny, Fiona, and Pip. They stopped in a line, the damp earth shifting under their weight as they looked out over the gap. Where the bridge had stood, there was only empty air and the violent churn of the river below. The water roared, a relentless barrier of gray foam and dark currents. Across the divide, the silver berries shimmered in the fading twilight. They hung heavy on the branches, pulsing with a soft, steady light that seemed to mock the distance between the two banks. Oliver tilted his head, his eyes scanning the wreckage of the old crossing. But the wooden planks were gone, carried away by the flood. Benny stepped forward, his massive paws pressing deep into the mud, his breath hitching as he stared at the unreachable prize. Benny broke the silence first. He let out a low, guttural grunt and turned his attention to the forest line. His massive paws dug into the soil, finding purchase as he gripped a thick, fallen log. He heaved, his shoulders rolling under the strain, and pushed the timber toward the riverbank. It scraped against the stones with a harsh, grinding sound that echoed across the water. The log slid forward, stopping just inches from the edge. Benny exhaled, his chest heaving, but he did not stop. He nudged it again, testing the stability of the ground beneath it. Beside him, Fiona moved with frantic grace. She darted around the perimeter of the clearing, her nose twitching as she searched the dense ferns. She stopped near a cluster of old growth. There, tangled in the undergrowth, she found a thick web of sturdy, resilient vines. She grabbed the ends in her teeth and dragged the heavy coil back to the center of the clearing. Oliver launched into the air, his wings beating a steady rhythm against the damp evening chill. From above, the riverbank looked like a jagged puzzle. He circled, his head tilting sharply as he scanned the shoreline for a solid anchor point. He spotted a cluster of granite rocks jutting out from the mud, a natural foundation that could hold the weight of the crossing. He let out a sharp, piercing call, his beak pointing downward to guide the others. Below, Benny was locked in a brutal struggle with the timber. He leaned his entire bulk into the log, his muscles bunching and straining under the immense pressure. The wood groaned, digging a deep furrow into the soft earth as it resisted his push. Suddenly, the log tilted, sliding toward the water at an awkward angle. Benny roared, digging his claws into the mud to stop the momentum. He held it there, trembling, his breath coming in ragged bursts. He shifted his weight, bracing his back against the timber to prevent it from slipping into the current. The strain was absolute. Every fiber of his strength was committed. Fiona watched from the bank, her eyes darting between the shifting timber and the rocks. They were at the limit of their endurance, the bridge still a precarious skeleton. Pip did not hesitate. As soon as the main logs were braced, he scurried into the narrow, dark spaces between the timber. His tiny paws moved with frantic, blurred speed, weaving the sturdy vines through the gaps. He pulled each loop tight, his teeth gritting as he braced his feet against the rough wood to gain leverage. The bridge groaned under the pressure, the logs shifting slightly as the river surged below. Fiona watched from the bank, her tail stiff, while Benny stood perfectly still. Oliver hovered just inches above, his wings beating softly to monitor the tension. Pip reached the final junction. He looped the last vine, pulled it until his muscles ached, and tied a knot that held fast. He scrambled out, breathless, and stepped back. For a second, no one moved. The river rushed beneath them, but the wood remained steady. Benny stepped onto the first plank, testing the weight. It did not budge. The bridge stood firm against the current, a solid path across the void. They had conquered the river. They stepped onto the bridge together, their weight balanced and secure. The wood held firm under their paws and talons, a silent testament to the work they had shared. Across the water, they gathered the silver berries, the fruit glowing with a soft, steady light in their palms. They found a clearing beneath the rising stars. Benny leaned his heavy back against the rough bark of a pine, while Fiona curled into a ball nearby. Pip climbed onto the soft feathers of Oliver's shoulder, settling in as the owl tucked his wings. They sat in the quiet dark, passing the berries back and forth. No one spoke. The only sound was the rhythmic, distant rush of the river flowing beneath the bridge they had built. The structure stood steady in the moonlight. They ate the last of the fruit, watching the stars climb higher. resting in the peace they had carved out of the wilderness with their own hands,